As Americans reflect on this Memorial Day, many are also taking to the skies. Thank you for joining us here at 6. I'm Dave Llewellyn.
And I'm Glenda Lewis. With many states easing COVID restrictions heading into the holiday weekend, millions of Americans jumped at the opportunity to travel.
I haven't been home in 2 years, so whatever I got to do to get home, I'm going to do to get home.
And she's not alone in that sentiment. Experts say Memorial Day should cap off a record weekend of holiday travel and kick off a busy start to the summer season.
The TSA reported screening more than 7 million people between Thursday and Sunday. On Sunday alone, 1.65 million travelers went through TSA screening.
But tonight, 7 Action News reporter Brian Abel is taking a closer look at what this renewed surge in travel means for the men and women working these flights.
And how an increased number of passengers has translated into increased hostility over wearing masks.
Scenes like this playing out on U.S. domestic flights as mask policies change on the ground, but not in the sky. 2 teeth knocked out of the Southwest flight attendant's mouth, the passenger arrested and charged. The aggression not isolated.
Oh, Lord! Oh, Lord!
An uptick in ugly confrontations like this as air travel sees a dramatic increase. TSA screening more than 7 million people since Thursday, a significant jump from the same weekend last year.
I haven't been home in 2 years, so whatever I got to do to get home, I'm going to do to get home.
U.S. officials warning there will be consequences for violent behavior on flights.
Violence against a flight attendant on a flight is a federal offense.
Airlines have banned hundreds of passengers since the pandemic began for non-compliance of COVID policies. Multiple Detroit flights impacted. Last summer, a flight preparing to take off for Atlanta turned around on the tarmac. Delta removing 2 passengers who refused to mask up. Last fall, another Delta flight, this one to L.A., delayed for the same reason. The psychological toll of the pandemic likely a factor.
This has been a trauma for just about everybody. This pandemic has been like a war for people. It's been scary and frightening.
And confusing, as mask requirements are lifting across the country, with more than half of Americans receiving at least 1 dose of the vaccine and daily COVID cases plummeting nearly 70% in the past 6 weeks. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg explaining why masks are still required for federal travel.
Part of it has to do with the unique conditions of the physical space. Part of it has to do with the conditions of it being a workplace and folks who really don't have a choice about being there the way it is in some other cases.
The FAA imposing penalties as high as $15,000 against passengers for violations. Secretary Buttigieg says it comes down to safety and respect.
A lot of Americans will be traveling for the first time. That also means for the first time in a while, maybe encountering flight crews and flight attendants and other transportation workers. Remember what they have been through. They have been on the front lines of this pandemic. Their jobs have been in doubt. They're doing their job. They're following regulations, and they're there to keep you safe. It is absolutely unacceptable to ever mistreat a transportation worker.
American and Southwest Airlines both say they will not resume alcohol service on flights because of these recent incidences. Meanwhile, the transportation mask policy remains in effect until September 13th. For 7 Action News, I'm Brian Abel.